Anybody remember Transformers? Like, anyone at all? You know, no. Not talking about the Michael Bay Transformers, although one of those were good. I'm talking about like the old Transformers, you know, like the old Hasbro toys, you know, the old classic 90s movie, you know, those Transformers. The Transformers most people grew up with. Like, anybody remember that? I mean, if you do, y'all remember the old PS2 game, you know, the old 2004 game? Yeah, I sort of remember it. I mean, I didn't play it much as a kid. It was on a demo disc for my PS2 when I didn't have too many games, and that's the only reason why I remember it. And recently I picked it up and I played a good little bit of it. I played the first hour of it, and I wanted to give my take, my thoughts, and my first impressions of the game, and how it, I guess, stuck with me, for lack of better words. First of all, don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys like this content. And second of all, the game is pretty good. Overall, it's pretty good. You start and end off with playing with 3 Transformers. You know, you got your boy, Optimus Prime, you got Hotshot, and you got Red Alert. Now, I guess I'm used to Bumblebee, so when I first saw Hotshot, I was like, oh, Bumblebee, but no, it's not. Anyway, the story of the game is pretty basic. Not really basic, but it's pretty easy to catch up to. It's, you know, going to place, stopping the Decepticons from grabbing these, I want to say weapons, because they're pretty much weapons in the game, known as the Minicons, and they'll use it to take over the world and stuff like that. So pretty much it's just mission to mission, stopping the Decepticons wherever you find them. Basic story, basic premise, and the game is honestly very fun, or at least when I was playing it. But it took a while for it to be fun, because honestly, it can be pretty difficult, because you're doing a lot of shooting, and it's hard to really aim. It's really hard to aim. I mean, you have this thing where you can go to first person, and then you can go back to third person. It's a lot easier to shoot in first person, but the controls are the hardest part. But the game gets easier, especially once you find said Minicons, and they give you special weapons, like this guy over here gives you some missiles. So you'll find different things, like some give missiles, some give shields, some give health. The game gets easier as you play it, especially once you get used to the controls. Because especially here, it was just, I struggled. You die a lot trying to learn how to play this game, or at least if you're anything like me. Because the thing that this game does not have going for it is its controls. It's very hard to really function in this game, because you're constantly shooting, you're constantly running, and especially when you run into waves of enemies, you're not going to do so well. So it's really hard to shoot and aim accurately at the same time, because the control scheme does not do you any favors. But once you get the hang of it, it gets easier from my experience. I don't know, I've only played the first level, this first little section, and you know, the more Minicons you find, the easier it gets. The longer you start playing, the easier-ish it gets, but the controls are very clunky. It's hard to make precise movements, like certain jumps, like getting from point A to point B is kind of tricky, but the game itself is just hard to control at first glance. That's its main problem in my playthrough. But all that being said, it's just hard in moments like this where I'm trying to get to a very specific place to get a very specific collectible that I want, because me being me, if I see collectibles, I just forget about everything else and I lock in on that. That's what I want. But anyways, yeah, the game's just rough. But again, getting from point A to point B is the hardest part of this game, but it's not bad. I want to make this plain. The game is not bad. It's just difficult because you're constantly fighting with a control scheme that could have been different. I'll say that. It could have been a lot different, especially once you start driving. But before that, I get to collect my hard-earned prize, which turns out to be a Datacon. So in this game, there are Minicons, which give you weapons and upgrades, and then there are Datacons, which pretty much just unlock extra concept art and art of Transformer toys for you to look at later in the menu. Now we get to the driving, and it's not the best. The driving can be kind of a mess. It's not the worst driving controls in a video game ever. I mean, it's alright. It's just, oh boy, it's not the easiest thing in the world, especially in certain sections where they encourage you to drive and you want to drive, especially in this section with ravines. You have to like make certain jumps. Sounds easy on paper, but it's not. There are warp stations scattered throughout all the levels, and you use them to pretty much just go back to the HQ, the main menu, so you can switch between Autobots, which I'm doing right now because I wanted to play as everybody. So I decided to go with Red Alert because, you know, why not? He seemed pretty cool. Yeah. So after doing that, I just kind of went to see if I could just go through this next part of the level, and it was, it was a doozy. Because again, the driving controls are not the best. They're not the worst. Oh man, but they're not great. So I had to do that all over again and make my way back up the mountain. Oh man, I hated that. But thankfully, on the corner of my eye, you know, I spotted a little hidden secret. You know, these secrets are everywhere, so you just gotta find them wherever they may be, and I just got lucky. If I wouldn't have fallen off that ravine, I wouldn't have found this. But hey, it's alright. Got this new little mini-con. He just drops mines, which is pretty alright in certain situations. And then I failed the thing again. There are a fair amount of enemies scattered throughout the level. I mean, you could either get in their face and punch them to death, go shoot them up, you know, but oof. But yeah, I just kind of, it took me a really long time to get to this point, so I kind of just cut between the footage, and eventually I made it. Found the new warp point, and found this little mini boss, this little spider guy, and yeah, that laser, no joke. So yeah, knowing that, I kind of just made sure to stay away from the laser, plant the bombs with the new mini-con that I got, and just try to wail on him. Again, it's really hard to aim and run at the same time. That's why I like the first-person mode, but you really can't stay still in this game. You have to constantly be moving. But thankfully, after a while, you know, he went down fairly easily. But, you know, I figured out that the mines can also hurt you. That's a thing. But hey, I got the new mini-con, so it's fine. This is the first defensive mini-con that I found, and he pretty much is just a shield that deflects bullets. That's nice. Also, a nice little handy feature is that if you ever get lost or forget what you're supposed to do, you can just pause the menu, click show objective, and depending on who you are, either Red Alert will tell you or Optimus Prime will tell you. Which, personally, Optimus Prime makes more sense, even though Red Alert's technically the tactician, but hey, it is what it is. And so, I kind of, sort of, not really struggled getting up this mountain. The AI is not stupid, but it's not the brightest either. I mean, it's the perfect balance. I mean, I didn't struggle too much. They kind of wanted you to drive up this mountain, but there's no way I was doing that. And thankfully, I didn't need to, as I was pretty much at the summit before I knew it. So I was ready to get to the first boss.
Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
So I make my way up the mountain and try to fight this another one of the spider guys, but there's a problem. He has the high ground, and my bombs aren't gonna reach that high. So yeah, and I want to open the mini-con case, but I can't because he's just gonna shoot me. So I have to take him down, and I'm running low on health. I'm kind of panicked, but it's fine. I just gotta fight the controls and hope for the best, which I make it up there, but it doesn't end all that great. I mean, yeah, I try. I put up my best effort, but eventually it just doesn't go the best. Like, I try to switch to the first person, just hoping that'll make things a little easier on me, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. Yeah, this game, it's rough. It's rough, but it's winnable, and I know it's winnable, and so I try again, but with a different strategy. Because every time I lose, I have to go all the way up the mountain again, so I really just wanted to get that warp gate, and I did, and so it's fine. But now, you know, round 5 at this point, I try to shoot him, put some bombs under him, and I got lucky, and he's gone. He's just dead. And so that's done. I get the new minicon, which is it's actually another missile minicon. This one's not, the other one had a lock-on, but this one's more like free fire. But hey, I'll take it. And so I go back to HQ one more time to switch to the last Autobot, which is Hotshot, just to see how he's doing.
Bring it on.
And so I'm ready for this. On our way to our first boss, which is Cyclonus apparently, but you know, of course it isn't, because he's too scared to fight me, because he's too good for that. I guess we just asked for too much of the first boss, huh? So just send in some random big boy grunt. And this random big boy grunt is actually no joke. I don't know, it's just because I'm Hotshot, I'm new to the game, or I'm just trash. And I'm also so trash that I forgot that I didn't equip any minicons on my way here. And that is really bad. And of course, it just goes bad from there the minute I figure that out. And so I immediately go back to HQ, switch all these things around, and the menu is really nice. Like, the UI is very good for this game. Like, you can easily figure out what's good, what isn't good, like the stats of everything, and it's just really great. The minicons you use are attached to the triggers, with the right side being for offense and the left side being for defense. And with all those equipped, I am ready to go. So on my left side, I have the minicon that deflects bullets but not missiles, and on the right side, I have missiles. And I try to get close, but this guy does not like me being close, like at all. So that's not a strategy. But eventually, I just start wailing on him. I get the hang of all the controls, all the weirdness of how everything feels, and everything was just working, and his health was just melting. I was throwing missiles at him, putting the shield up when he was shooting me, and sooner or later, like, everything was just going my way, and next thing I know, boom, he's just gone. And that's the first level done. So yeah, the game is pretty good once you get the hang of it.
The minicon signal originated from this position. Search the area.
Yes, sir. Over here.
They're calling to other minicons on Earth. We'll track it from HQ. Roll out.
So after all that, I take a look at all the extras I unlocked, which was just concept art of the toys and some stuff from the actual game itself. And with that, we just beat the first level of
Transformers.
And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope you take the time to really like and subscribe to the video if you truly enjoyed it and if you want to see more classic gaming content. I'll be here every week, and I hope you guys remembered Transformers and have some fond memories with it like I did. I didn't have too many since I only played the demo, but reliving it was very, very fun. But I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on next week's video. Take care, and God bless.